channel Bapuji Patel. This video represents the conversation between Anantji and Dadaji Patel on the topic of time travel. Please note that our beloved Dadaji is also called Bapuji and Anantji addresses Dadaji as Bapuji. Anantji saying, Param Shanti Bapuji, today we will talk on the topic of time travel, in which a lot of research is going on all over the world. I just want to inform here that there is a research project called Warp Drive ongoing in NASA. This Warp Drive is a fictional superluminal spacecraft propulsion system. Scientists are trying to achieve a speed more than the speed of light. The warp drive would work by creating a bubble of flat spacetime around the spaceship and curving spacetime around that bubble to reduce the distance. It is suggested that it may be possible to do time travel, that is, to access past and future events by traveling to that period. Now we all want to know whether all these things are possible or not. Can you explain it, Bapuji? Dadaji is saying, see, the scientific research are based upon physical elements. They are trying to achieve the speed beyond light, but when the spacecraft made of physical elements travels at the speed beyond light, then it won't stay in physical state. It will convert into fire element. That means the aircraft made of earth element and water element will catch fire. However, if the half of the aircraft is made of physical element and half is made of ether element and air element with physical elemental part at the core and air and ether elements at the outer layers in such a way that the physical elements do not get into contact of the friction, then the aircraft can achieve the speed beyond light. For example, Ravan had aircraft called Pushpak Vimana made of air elements, which could travel at the speed of mind, that is, the aircraft used to fly as per thought power or sankalp of the pilot. Ravan just used to think where he wanted to go and next moment he used to reach that place. He used to travel in various astral planes like Bhulok, Bhuvarlok, Swargalok in his aircraft. His aircraft was not made of physical elements, otherwise it would catch fire when traveling at that speed. But it is impossible to travel to different dimensions with the physical spacecrafts. Anantji is asking, can physical aircraft travel to different solar systems, Bapuji? Dadaji is saying, spacecraft can travel in a solar system up to where the physical elements exist and physical sky exists. The physical aircraft would not be able to achieve speed beyond light. As soon as the aircraft reaches beyond the speed of light, it will burn as it will catch fire due to the speed. So, it's not possible to make spaceship made of physical elements that can travel faster than light. In order to attain the speed beyond light, the spacecraft needs to be made of ether, air, and fire elements. The spacecraft made of three elements, air, ether, and fire, can travel anywhere at the speed of light. The speed of light is about 186,000 miles per second. If the aircraft is made of three elements of ether, air, and fire, it can travel at double speed of light or even several times the speed of light. Anantji is asking, is it possible in future, Bapuji? Dadaji is answering, but now the time for transformation will come. I have mentioned this in the video of Future World. I have mentioned that there will be transformation of elements. The physical elements will transform into supreme elements. Around the year 2036, the elements on Earth plane will be completely transformed. Then there will be vehicles of supreme elements. The vehicles made of supreme elements will have the speed of supreme light, which will be million times the speed of light. Anantji is asking, is it possible to travel back to the past? For example, is it possible to travel back to Dwapar Yuga and stop or change the incidents that happened during that time? Dadaji is saying, generally, saints and sages can visualize the incidents during that time using their meditation power or Yog Sakti. But they cannot go back to the time and alter the past events. It's because the events have already happened and the characters of the drama have already moved on as per time. One can go to the past through the dreams. Through dream, one can see their past or future. Sages and saints can also visualize their past or future but cannot go back to the past or in future. There is a lot of difference between visualizing the time period and going to that time period. Anantji is asking, can anybody change his karmic records by going back to the past? Dadaji is answering, no, not at all. The reason is that the actions that were performed in the past have already been completed. The karmas due to the actions of the souls have already been recorded on the souls as per time. The karmic actions have already been imprinted and impacted all the layers of the soul. It has already affected the heart, mind, and culture of the souls. The recordings on the subtle body and causal body of the soul cannot be undone. However, soul can change the upcoming future. Anantji is asking, Bapuji, I just want to ask a question regarding the past times. There is a term called grandfather paradox used in internet nowadays to undo the past incident. Just for example, when we are working in the computer and we delete something, then if we click undo button, then it just comes back. We can also rectify our mistake that way. But can such things happen in the life as well? Dadaji is answering, in computer, if you save a story in a file and by mistake you delete it and you have to bring it back, then you can undo it. You can bring it back that way because it was recorded in the system. Similarly, if you are reading history or Purana and you think that something was not right and trying to rectify it, then you are clicking back to the history. But rectifying the mistake is happening now. You are not going back to the time to rectify it. In computer, the data you deleted was recorded in the system somewhere, so you were able to retrieve it. Similarly, if you forget your past, then by meditation you can retrieve the memory so that you can visualize your mistake and then you can rectify your mistakes in your upcoming projects or upcoming days. You can rectify or undo your mistakes now, but not going back to the past. Anantji is asking, I think that's the learning curve, isn't it? We learn from our mistakes, and maybe from that we won't repeat the same mistake again, but we cannot change the past that's already happened. Dadaji is saying, one of the reasons to learn history is that we don't make the same mistake again, but we cannot alter the past. Anantji is saying, Bapuji, can we go back to the time and change the karmic action of oneself or karmic actions of the people or karmic actions of whole world? Dadaji is saying, see, the world you see today is in present. Even if you want to change the world, how can you go back to the past? Because the ongoing time is now. You can go back to the time only by visualizing the recordings on the soul, that is by meditation. Anand is saying, Bapuji, what I want to say here is that the souls have also changed their form along with the time. That means the souls who were involved in some activity in the past in a particular body are now in a different body, and they may also be in different astral planes doing different activities. Dadaji is saying, let's take an example. Someone wants to alter the state or events that happened 5,000 years ago. Now, all those souls or characters involved in that particular event or time 5,000 years ago are now at different places or in different astral planes as per their karma. So, one needs to bring back the entire world to the time of 5,000 years ago. Does anybody have power to take all the souls back to the time of 5,000 years ago to change those events? Anantji is saying, but here my question is to alter the karmic action of souls by going into the past. Dadaji is saying, but in order to change the action performed by the character at that time, we need that character. That's why we cannot go back to the past to undo the action or change the actions. For example, someone wants to undo the Mahabharata war that happened 5,000 years ago. Do you think it's possible to do so by going back to the past? One can imagine about it, but spiritually it's not possible to go back and undo it because the characters of that time have now moved on. They are not same now as they were at that time. The souls have changed. They are in different forms now, playing their part of the drama as per their karma. The records of karmic actions have already been imprinted on the souls. Anantji is asking, Bapuji, some people claim that they have gone to the future. They say they have seen the incidents of year 2036 or 2050 or 2100 or 2300. Is it possible to go into the future then? Dadaji is saying, just like the past events have already gone, the time of future has not come yet. So one cannot travel to the future time. There is still time to reach 2030. Anantji is saying, maybe the soul has retrieved the recordings of previous kalp or time cycle. Dadaji is saying, in some cases, powerful souls from subtle world stay with the human soul. These powerful subtle world souls inspire the human soul or help them to visualize the future happenings of the world. The powerful souls from very fine subtle world plan for the future drama on earth plane. These powerful souls have controlling power on earth. They plan the future. Before, hundreds and thousands of souls used to work together on the plan. The writing of the drama used to happen on upper astral layers, so they could tell or inspire the human souls about the plan. But now these things don't happen. Maybe someone is telling about the visions of their dream, which is recorded in their mind. Otherwise, the time traveling into future is irrelevant. Anantji is saying, there is a person named Noah who claims that he is a time traveler and he has traveled from the year 2030. And he has predicted certain future incidents yet to take place. He has also cleared the lie detector test. Bapuji, can you clarify us whether he has seen some dreams or any subtle world souls have inspired him with visions? Dadaji is saying, there are two possibilities. One possibility is he might have slept while thinking continuously and imagining the future events to occur. He would have seen the dreams that he had imagined, and such events would have recorded in his mind and intelligence. So, in such cases, even if you put him under lie detector test or hypnotize him, he will still repeat the same thing because the records are within him. He either told his dreams or he told the things inspired by the souls from the subtle world. So there is no wonder for clearing lie detector test. But the dreams he had may not manifest in reality. Anantji Singh, so that means we can't call the visualization of future in dreams as time travel. Bapuji, can human beings foresee the upcoming events or actions happening in their life? Dadaji is saying, yogis can foresee their future. A yogi can see the recordings on the soul, including past, present, and the future. Anantji is asking, is it possible that something like time machine can come into existence in future? Dadaji is saying, in upcoming days, the aircrafts will be made of supreme elements. I have already explained this in videos that this manifested form of physical world will transform into invisible creation of supreme elements in near future. Anantji is asking, Bapuji, can soul go beyond time and space? Dadaji is answering, yes, they can when they go to higher astral planes. I will tell you how. For example, if a soul puts an effort on meditation, then it goes to higher dimensions like Brahmapuri or Vishnupuri or Shivapuri. There the time extends. If a soul changes the form from this physical 5 elemental form to 3 elemental form or Akari form or holographic form to Nirakari form or light form or incorporeal form, and then it can reach Brahmapuri in a moment. So you can imagine how fast a soul would have traveled. So in our subject, we need to include time, space, and speed, all three parameters. As the soul travels upwards to the higher dimension like Maharlok, Janalok, Tapalok, the speed increases. And if the soul is traveling in its Nirakari form or incorporeal form and is made of supreme elements, then it can travel to Brahmapuri in time period of trillionth part of a second. If the soul is made of supreme divine light, then the soul can travel to the center of galaxy in a single second in incorporeal or nirakari form. The soul made of supreme light can travel to another galaxy or universe in a trillionth part of a second in its nirakari form. But the souls who are made of supreme ether element have comparatively very slow speed. Anant is asking, if at the time of death a soul takes the incorporeal form, can it cross the time and space boundary? Does a human soul need to wait till death to go beyond the time-space boundary? Dadaji is saying, as per theory of karma, when a soul attains the Karmatite stage, that means when a soul is not influenced by any karmic bondages on earth plane and goes beyond the stage of karmic bondages, then the soul automatically does not stay on this earth plane. Upon reaching Karmatite stage, the soul immediately leaves this earth plane within a fraction of a second. The karmic records of both good actions or punya and bad actions or pap are engraved in the soul. These records are expressed in causal body or karan sarir so that the soul gets fruits of their karma. When the soul performs yoga, receives power from Almighty Authority, and attains soul conscious state or Atma Swarup, then the supreme light received from Almighty Authority penetrates into causal body and burns all the recordings of virtue, the good karma, and vices, the bad karma. After that, the causal body is free from karmic bondages and hence attains the karmatite stage in which soul is free from all karmic bondages. Furthermore, if the soul is made up of supreme light, then upon receiving continuous supreme rays from Almighty, the soul gets empowered and then the supreme great causal body or Param Mahakaran Sarir also gets charged. Depending upon the origin of the soul, the body will be of supreme elements or the body of the soul becomes radiant with supreme divine light. Anantji is asking, but is it possible before death? Dadaji is answering, any souls can go anytime. That's why Lord Krishna emphasized on becoming karma yogi, but no one could understand what he really wanted to say. Anandji is saying, so we don't need to wait until death. We can start right now today. Dadaji is saying, if a soul is a highly knowledgeable one and knows the supreme spiritual knowledge not written in any book, then the soul can reach Karmatite stage. The knowledge written in our scriptures are all about one Brahmand or one solar system only. Our scriptures contain stories about 14 planes of this Brahmand and about the Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar of this Brahmand only, and not beyond that. The souls who have come from very higher dimensions, like from great universe or multiverse, etc., can understand this supreme spiritual knowledge and attain soul conscious state or Atma Swarup. When they attain soul conscious state and receive power from Almighty Authority, then their all karmic bondages are destroyed and they travel to their place of origin. Just to understand, our Brahmand or solar system has higher dimensions like Brahmapuri, Vishnupuri, Shivapuri, Paramdham. If the Paramdham is just 10th dimension, then you can imagine how high is the dimension of the multiverse. If the soul has come from multiverse, then you can imagine what will be the dimension of that astral plane. You can imagine how powerful will that soul be who has come from multiverse. Our multiverse is of 100 kala or 100 celestial power. If the soul has come from multiverse, it can cross the galaxy, universe, and reach the supreme great abode of multiverse in even a fraction of a second. It can reach the supreme great abode of multiverse in trillionth of a second. The speed of supreme light is very high. The speed of 300,000 km per second is nothing in front of speed of supreme light. The speed of supreme light becomes several decillion km per second in incorporeal stage or Nirakari stage. Anant is asking, should we call it Bijrup stage then? Dadaji is saying, when a soul reaches incorporeal stage, it does not have a body. It is called Bijrup stage. Anantji is asking, when soul attains the Bijrup stage, then will it reach to its creator? Dadaji is answering, yes, in the Bijrup stage, it will reach to its father, the creator of the soul. Anantji is asking, so when karmic bondages of the soul are destroyed, then will the speed of the soul automatically increase then? Dadaji is answering, definitely. When one becomes karma yogi, the karmic bondages are destroyed. Anantji is saying, recently a Hollywood film named Interstellar showed an incident which is very similar to a story in our scripture, where a queen named Revati and her father had travelled to Brahmalok in search of suitable groom for her. In Brahmalok, Brahma asked them to return to earth plane immediately, so that Revati could marry Balaram, a powerful avatar. By the time Revati and her father reached earth plane, a Yugantar had elapsed on earth. So, Bapuji, what happened to their karmic bondages related to earth plane during the time when they were travelling to and from the Brahmapuri? Dadaji is saying, during the time period in which Revati and her father travelled to and from Brahmapuri, they escaped the karmic bondages on earth plane as they were not present here on earth. In earlier days, when sages and saints knew that it's time of getting fruits of their karmic bondages, then they used to take out their subtle body and travel to higher planes so that they could free themselves from the effects of the karmic bondages. Later, when the time for karmic affairs was over, then they used to come back. So, one can avoid the karmic effects by going to the higher dimension. Our sages and saints used to do this. For example, when it was time for destruction on earth, like Kal Pralay, Ardha Pralay, at the end of Kali Yuga or Manvantar, etc., then sages and saints used to leave earth plane and go to higher planes to avoid their karmic bondages on earth. Similarly, at the time of Kal Pralay, when Swargalok also used to get destroyed, then the souls in Swargalok used to go to further higher dimensions like Janalok, Mahalok, etc. to escape the karmic effects on Swargalok. So, in this way, any soul can avoid the effects of their karmic bondages. Anant is saying, in Interstellar movie, it's shown that time moves faster on Earth, whereas it moves at a slower pace in space. One day in Swargalok is equivalent to 365 days on Earth. Scientists are also saying that gravity can bend time. What will you say on this, Bapuji? Dadaji is saying, the gravity of this physical world extends maximum up to a distance of 200 kilometers in space. The collection of souls in space, where their soul power forms a layer, is called plane or lokas. If you go to next layer or second layer or loka, then the gravity of that loka extends up to 100,000 kilometers. The third layer is Swargalok, where deities reside and their king is Indradev. These souls have more power, so their gravity covers a large area. If you go to third layer, then its gravity extends up to 1,000,000 kilometers. The gravity of Swargalok is far greater compared to Bhulok. It is 365 times the Bhulok. That's why one day in Swargalok is equal to 365 days on Earth. So, time scale on each plane depends on gravity of that plane, and gravity depends upon the creator of that plane. On Earth, gravity depends on physical bodies. That's why gravity of Earth is very small. Ananji is asking, if Indradev, the king of Swargalok, becomes a human soul on Earth, then what will be his gravity on Earth? Dadaji is saying, if Indra becomes human soul, then his soul degrades, so he loses his power and comes under the gravity of Earth plane. There is a story about King Muchikand, who was a great warrior. There was continuous war between deities and demons. And King Muchikand fought on the side of deities and helped the deities to win the battle. So, King Muchikand spent many years in Swargalok under the hospitality of Indradev. Then, King Muchikand decided to return to Bhulok and he expressed his views to Indradev. Indradev told him that many years had already been elapsed on earth and none of his relatives was alive on earth. So King Indradev requested King Muchikand to stay in Swargalok. However, Muchikand insisted that he wanted to go to Bhulok and sleep there, as he was very tired due to fighting long battle. So Indradev blessed Muchikand with the power that if anybody disturbed his sleep and wake up him, then fire would come out from Muchikand and destroy the person. In the war between Sri Krishna and Kalevan, a friend of Jarasandh, Kalevan ran after Sri Krishna to kill him. Sri Krishna knew that Kalevan had blessings of Bhagwan Shankara, that no arms or weapons could kill Kalevan. So, keeping this in mind, Lord Krishna ran into the cave where King Muchikand was sleeping. And Lord Krishna covered Muchikand with his yellow shawl and then hid inside the cave. Kalyavan also went inside cave chasing Sri Krishna, and he saw yellow shawl on Muchikand's body, and he thought Sri Krishna was sleeping. So he tried to wake up Muchikand by mistake. When Muchikand woke up, then as per blessing of Indradev, fire came out from him and burnt Kalyavan to death. Anantji is saying, in Devi Bhagavad Puran, it is also written that Mahadevi made our Brahma to sit in her divine spacecraft and showed Brahma the existence of millions of other Brahmand and Brahma, Vishnu and Shankars of respective Brahmans. This is also an incident of space travel which is written in our scriptures. Dadaji is saying, this is an incident related to Mahadevi and it's written in Mahadevi Puran. This is not related to Devi or Sakti of this Brahmand, whose power is limited to this Brahmand only. Mahadevi means Mahasakti, a part of Mahashiva, and she can travel to any part of galaxy in a fraction of a second. Mahashiva, who is the creator of one galaxy, has also created many such Mahasaktis to control the Akasganga or galaxy. In each galaxy, trillions and trillions of Brahmand exist, and each Brahmand has its own Brahma, Vishnu and Sankara. When these Brahma, Vishnu or Sankara is in trouble, then Mahasakti guide them to resolve their problems. When our Brahma of this Brahman was full of ego, then Mahasakti toured him all over the galaxy and showed the existence of trillions and trillions of Brahmas who were working in respective Brahmand, so that ego of Brahma was crushed. Mahadevi didn't enter into the Brahmans, but she showed Brahmans to Brahma from above, that is, from higher dimension. Mahashakti showed Brahma trillions and trillions of Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, Himalayas, etc. and their respective Brahmand, which in science today known as parallel universe. So, our Mahadevi Puran has information regarding parallel universes. So, one can imagine what type of spacecraft Mahadevi had, which could travel from one solar system to another just in a moment, and how powerful divine vision Mahasakti had that she could show Brahma all Brahmans in a galaxy. Anantji is saying, Bapuji, I will stop here now. We will continue our discussion in next part of the video. Thank you, Bapuji. Param Shanti. Dear viewers, the link of original Hindi video is given in the description box below. I hope this video has clarified the concept of time travel. Almighty Authority is working secretly to transform the entire creation from mortal world into immortal one. Sooner or later, the world will transform. Param Shanti.
परम शांति सोचो बोलो परम शांति
Join us daily for live meditation, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. on YouTube Live. Subscribe now. Website www.paramshanti.org. Email us anant@paramshanti.org. Like, share, subscribe. Join today.
बेहद की